There's power in the pause. Can you feel it? Madam Chair, fellow Toastmasters, everyone joining us on YouTube and Zoomland. Have you ever had a maybe someday? One of those thoughts that rolls around in your head where you're, really wanting to do something, but you've got all kinds of reasons why not, justifiers, excuses. I know for me, one of my biggest maybe some days was to travel to the UK. Now I had a friend, a really good friend, that over the years became more like family. And his mom would come from the UK every year. And for 20 years, she would come and spend weeks with us in the summer. And her question was always, when are you going to come to the UK? When are you going to come to my place? And every year my answer was, maybe someday. Those maybe some days, like maybe someday I'll get that promotion. Maybe someday I'll learn that instrument. Maybe someday I'll travel to that place. Maybe someday I'll lose that weight. Maybe someday I'll read that book. Maybe someday I'll be on big stages. Now, it wasn't that I didn't want to go to the UK. Of course I wanted to, but I had so many reasons why I couldn't get there. Now, granted, they were good reasons. The top of the list was food, shelter, those things that we have to pay every month. And year after year after year, that thought that went around in my head, that I couldn't quite get there. But alas, 2 years ago, I was given an opportunity. I got the phone call. We're having a wedding. It's in the UK. Are you coming now? Now, I want you to understand that I still didn't have the money. But I now had something, a purpose to work towards. And I became bigger than my reasons why not. So I started saving money like a squirrel, socking it away. I had no idea how much money I'd need, but I knew it would be a lot. And with 2 years to save, I started cutting back on some things. I ate out less. I got another job. I started working towards that purpose because I had a reason to do so. So 3 months out, and we're needing to plan the trip. So I now have all this money in the bank, but what am I going to do for this plan? Now, it was my daughter, my youngest daughter, who had her trip planned to the second. The planes, trains, automobiles that she was going to take, and I started feeling anxiety about that. And then, of course, there's my son, who I describe as Peter Pan, adventurous soul that he is. He goes, Mom, just buy the ticket, get there and figure it out while you can. And that made me nervous. But it sounded a little bit more exciting. A choose your own adventure? Why not? You only live once. So when I ended up in Africa, definitely not somewhere that I intended to go, and I'm standing with people that I'm meeting on this journey, and they're telling me about their experiences, and I'm seeing pictures of monkeys climbing up onto this man's shoulder. And I'm like, I want to do that. I want to do that. And he says, oh, it's at this waterfall. And I leaned in and I said, is there any hiking? Because I don't know if you can tell on the video, but I don't consider myself a hiker. As a matter of fact, I have a problem walking to the local 7-Eleven without feeling like I need a treat just for making it there. So it was a little scary to me. But he said, oh, no. You get there and the waterfall's right there. I'm like, perfect, sign me up. So we drive 3 hours out into the desert. And I can feel the nervousness and excitement because it's an unknown thing. And as I'm walking up to the waterfall and I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a great time, great day, I had that moment of panic as I realized that, yeah, the waterfall's right there. 150 meters down, he failed to mention that point. And his idea of hiking and mine are completely different at that point. Leadership, when we're called to, adjusts and pivots. And in that moment, I found the power in the pause. Because I had two choices that day. One, sit on the bench at the top of the waterfall and watch everyone else have a rich, full experience of life. Or two, become a hiker and descend down, knowing that I would then have to ascend up. So I did that, and the electricity in me was magic. And born out of that, so many things have changed. And when I was riding a camel in the Sahara Desert, I was like, this is it. This is what an electric, full, rich life feels like, and I want more. So when I got home, I looked at Google, and I was like, we traveled 37,000 kilometers by plane, train, and car. I drove on the opposite side of the road, something I would have never done before then. I rode camels, I touched monkeys, I had an epic adventure. But when I came home, 2 weeks after that, COVID-19, the gravity of that hit me. And I started to go into that old story of panic and depression and, oh my God, what am I going to do? What can I do? What will I do? In the power of the pause. As the globe takes a pause, what am I willing to do? So I saw a 21-day meditation. Grab onto that. Have you ever been asked to do anything like that and stay consistent to it? It had accountability built into it. And as I came up against the stuff over and over and over again, I was standing at that new precipice. I have two choices: to stay here or move through it. And as I found more and more power in the pause of life, I started walking towards the things that are most important to me. In the last 45 days, I have now started a YouTube channel. I've created wealth beyond measure. I received a check the other day that actually astounded me because it was more than I made in the whole last year. And I'm wondering, is there a place where you could dust off your maybe someday, take another look? Could you possibly find your power in this global pause? Madam Chair.